Hey, good morning. How
Good,
are you?
good. How are you?
So good, so good.
Excellent. I love your well branded and everything.
Oh, hey, thank you.
I'm gonna have to tell David to get us some of those because that's a nice looking swag right there.
Thanks. Hey, I ordered it ordered it from Nike, the pullover from Nike, but we actually have a stellar local company here that does the screen printing, etc. So it's really nice. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Where are you guys located?
So we're in Clarksville, Tennessee. It's really close to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, which is a pretty big Army base, about 45 minutes from Nashville.
Oh,
It's,
wow.
it's the location. So
Awesome.
it's a really really good area. So it's a
Nice.
blessing for sure.
Yeah, no, I love that. And so tell me kind of your real estate investing story. Like what got you interested and kind of led
Sure.
to you using Deal Machine?
Sure. So first, I just want to start by thanking you, Lisa Snack and Deal Machine for providing such a, just a fantastic product, and for being interested in our story. It means a lot, and Deal Machine has been, key to our success, and that means a lot. So, just want to thank you for that. And I was hoping that maybe we can start with the how and why, we use Deal Machine, and maybe wrap up with 3 or 4 unique examples of success, and
Love
just
it.
how it's all incorporated in together. So, just real quick, just my background. I was in the car business for about 16 years, and just spent, as a finance manager, spent tons of time just analyzing, car deals and becoming well versed in, loan to value and debt to income, and just things of that nature. So I actually just transitioned to investing naturally, from that, I feel, and started to buy and hold about a year before exiting the car business to do this full time.
Oh my gosh. And how many doors do you have right now then?
We've got 9 properties. We're looking at doing some new build. I think we close on 3 next week. We've done several wholesale, but just my buy and hold portfolio, we're at about 9 properties, um, with a lot more on the horizon. So it's been a blessing, and the way that we got started with Deal Machine, it's funny. I can remember back to the time where I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I said, wouldn't it be just so cool if we could use this tax map, the interactive tax map of the county that we live in, and just gather people's information on different tracks that we wanted and send them letters to buy their property, and just kind of went down that rabbit hole, which is what led me to Deal Machine.
I love that. That's literally the same thing David thought when he was building it. So like, that's amazing. So how did you find us then?
Um, I believe it was through Bigger Pockets, I'm sure, which is the story of a lot of people. I believe I first heard about it through Bigger Pockets, but I'm sure that it was just a combination of just internet search efforts, and then just hearing about it through Bigger Pockets enough times to remember. Oh yeah, I remember, wanting to venture into to finding some sort of platform or way, or even just utilizing the text map and sending my own mailers, which we did. We've sent mailers off of lists, the
Oh,
absentee
wow.
owner list, the equity list, just like every other investor. But Deal Machine has been a real pivotal, in our success, and it's such a blessing to work with you.
I love it. Oh, we're so thankful to have you guys in the family. And
Great.
like, I always like to ask this, what is your favorite template to use?
I think that I've created all of them that I sent out. I've created myself. Sorry, but I'll take the ones that were on there, and so with the campaigns, I think we've got 9 pieces of mail that go out, all within 9 or 10 months, and we'll mix it up. We'll do postcards, we'll do letters. I think the last one is just a picture of a dog that says you're playing hard to get, or we're
Oh,
still trying to play, we're still trying to fetch you, or something along those lines. Just
oh
to,
my
to try to
God.
stand out a little bit.
I love it. Do you, well, I guess tell me some of your experiences. You were talking about 2 or 3 examples. Yeah, I'd love to hear how those played out.
Sure, yeah, that would be great. First, I just want to say that I love the way that Deal Machine forces you to just really connect with the property. As I referenced before, we've sent out, just thousands and thousands of mailers based on just lists, that you can get from different sources. But I really appreciate the way that Deal Machine forces you to connect with the property, and ultimately you're connecting with the individual and building a relationship, which is so key to success in real estate investing. Um, it's we have not, or I have not upgraded, to a higher platform simply because, as someone who's particular about the way that I do things, it's I know that everything new is difficult at first, So as I'm driving and as I've really developed, the I guess skill of using the DealMachine interface, I know exactly where I want to stop in front of a house. First, I know how to identify a house. I know where to stop, the exact angle, the zoom to pull in on the camera to get that perfect, angle
Ugh.
of the postcard to go out. It's all about finding the unpleasant side, of the house.
Yeah.
So that's the angle that I want to hit. I remember one time driving with my wife, and we always did driving for dollars before DealMachine. We would go make our list, and then I would come back and research all of the property owners. And I remember after being on the DealMachine platform for a while, we were doing driving for dollars as well. And I was in the passenger seat. And after about an hour, I said, "You have to stop. Just stop the vehicle. Let me get in the driver's seat." She didn't like it. I said, "Yeah, let me get in the driver's seat. I know how to stop in front of these houses. I know the angle. It's just we'll just communicate better if you let me drive," which is she didn't care for, but
Oh my gosh, so
it works and it's a system.
you were doing this by hand then for how long?
Right. For about a year and a half, while I was still in the car business, and ultimately left the car business to spend more time with her and with the kids. We've got a 9 and 7-year-old, and the car business is just long hours.
Oh,
It's been such a blessing to be able to step away from that and delve into the real estate full time.
it's so
And that's
crazy
all we
to
do.
me. You're not the first one to tell me they went from the car business to
Hmm.
doing this because of the hours. And I guess I never realized how much time you don't spend at home. You spend it at the dealership, which is crazy to me.
That's a
So
good point.
do your kids love driving for dollars? Do you take them with you? Is that like nap time too, or like?
They hate it. They hate it. So, and oftentimes they'll be doing something that we don't want them to be doing. So it's like, all right, guys, is it time to go do some driving for dollars?
Oh
No, no,
shoot!
no, we're sorry, we're sorry. So they don't like it, but they're in school, and my wife is employed by the school system as well. So that's a blessing that she gets to be with them during that. And so I'll just take that time now, just to do it on a weekly basis. Just
Well,
adding in.
bless her for being in the school system. Like I have a lot of family that isn't, just blessings for her. And that's amazing because actually last night we had another member on who said the kids felt the same way. They always are just like, oh man, we're going driving again. So it's, hey, for anyone who's listening to this, you can use it as a way of getting them to stop do something.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so tell me about some of the deals. Tell me
Yeah, sure. Sure.
how they came about.
I think, I 3 or 4 that we can go over, and kind of share the story with those as well. Just first and foremost, for all the listeners, anybody using DealMachine, it's important to never miss an opportunity. And I said it because I can recall one specific situation where I was driving for dollars, and I stopped in front of a duplex pretty close to my house here, and I was angling up my camera to get a picture, and traffic was coming, and there was a car behind me, and they laying on their horn. "What are you doing? Stopping in the middle of the road." So I drove off. I didn't get the picture. I drove away, and my mind was just stuck on that missed opportunity. So ultimately, I turned around. I went back to the property, and I snapped a picture and sent a postcard out. Listen, a week later, the guy called me. The owner called me, and he's 80 years old, and he has 8 doors. So we are negotiating that. So you just never know, and you can't pass up an opportunity, especially just because of traffic.
Oh my
So
gosh, that's insane.
so it's just a prime example. You don't ever pass up on an opportunity because you never know. You never know what'll come of it. And so I guess that'll trigger over. Also, never knowing. We had a lady that owns a house. Now we know it was a lady, but it was a house that I noticed several times, pretty close to my neighborhood. Um, and I sent her a letter. The house I knew was a little bit out of my price range, but I could tell that it had, some signs of distress. So I sent her added her to the campaign, and she got postcards, letters, and she called me. She said, that's the house that I live in. I don't want to sell that house, but I do have another house that was lesser expensive, right up the road, well within my price range. Built that relationship with her, built the trust, which is, I mean, which is what it's all about. But anyways, that house was paid in full. Ended up going under contract with her on that home at a very discounted price, and at seller financing terms with no interest paid for 5 years. I mean, the story doesn't get any better than that.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a blessing. And just building that relationship and learning how you can serve people is pivotal, because it don't I feel that if I wasn't able to build the relationship with her, and earn her trust, then she wouldn't have entertained a seller finance type of situation. So it's just important. And again, you never know. It's like this thing, you never know. I sent her a postcard about a property that had nothing to do with the one that I ultimately bought from her, and look what it yielded. So again, you never know.
Oh
So
my gosh. And that's, so how many, I know you're giving some examples, but how many properties do you know that you've gotten, how many deals have you gotten with DealMachine thus
mhm.
far?
I believe five or
Love.
six just with DealMachine. And listen, it is such a great tool, and it's paid for itself. It paid for itself on one deal. I'll give you this next example. And you never know how you can use DealMachine. For example, I had a seller that I added to the campaign, sent him mail. The piece got returned, and I really like that within the platform, it tracks the return mail, and then you can pull it up and you can see, skip trace, get the current addresses, phone numbers, which is what I did. Skip traced return mail that I got back, and I just sent a text message. I said, hey, this is Chris with Aniya Equity. Is this Mr. Customer? Because I have returned mail of yours. He responded back, what kind of return mail? Well, actually, it was from us. We were wanting to talk to you about a particular piece of property that you have, and seeing if you'd entertain an offer on it. Okay, well, yeah, sure. Let's talk about it. I'll sell it. I'm an out-of-state, landlord. That's the only one we've got. I bought it when I was stationed there in the military. Um, and just built that relationship with him. Went under contract. And this one I accidentally wholesaled. But that, got it under contract at a discount, and accidentally wholesaled it to a buddy of mine, and for a $20,000 wholesale fee. So I mean, about 45 minutes, worth of work on the deal, and it was a blessing to build that relationship, over the phone with that seller, and piece that together as well. So
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. 20,000 on one deal.
it
Holy
was a,
cow.
it was a blessing. And again, it just goes back to building the relationships, and that all started with the resources that DealMachine offers.
Well, you have such a calming demeanor. Like I would just be like, yeah, you're going to take care of me, not like, if you come off too aggressive, then, you're there to help them, not.
That's exactly right. It's all about building relationships, and I think that goes back to working in the car dealership. I know a lot of people have a bad opinion about that, but those guys, they're there just trying to earn a living as well. But guess what? They're also providing you means of transportation, and my job was to facilitate those transactions. So I got to learn a little bit more about their financial situations, and through just inquiries about how we can serve them best, and it's really carried over to real estate investing. So,
I love it. So you are doing this full time. You
um,
send postcards in a campaign? What does your processes look like? I know some people like to know, you have it on a 9 month campaign. Do you do
mhm,
cold calling on top of that? You said you send a text if it's returned. Kind of what is your
mhm.
process?
It's my fault that I'm not doing more phone calls, because it's so simple, and I know, and every investor knows that it's a numbers game. The more people that you talk to, the more deals that you're going to put together. So shame on me. My wife and I talk all the time, and I tell her I just need to pick up the phone and start calling these people that are receiving the mail, because it's going to be your returns are going to be so much greater just making that phone call. And I know that. I'm aware of it, and I'm working toward it, and we're looking to get a system and some structure set up to where I can be more efficient with making those phone calls.
But you have consistency already in the mail, so like that's really important. And cold calling such a commitment too.
But it's never enough. It's never enough. The mailers are not enough. You have to, you have to be, I guess, proactive in reaching out to people. So,
That's
yeah,
amazing. What's the goals for, is it Aniya? Is that how you pronounce
that's
the
exactly right.
Aniya Equity? What are the 2021 goals for Aniya Equity?
I think my goal is to hit 4 million in real estate. We have got 3 vacant lots that we're looking to build some duplexes on. So that's going to be a blessing, and it's also going to be a learning experience. Especially with this competitive of a market that we've got right now when it comes to different trades and construction, etc. But going forward, just continuing to pound and doing the driving for dollars and keeping a sharp eye. And that's the biggest thing is people ask all the time, well, how do you spot these properties? How do you know? How do you get in touch with people? Well, how do you know to send this person the mail or not that person? And it's just keeping a sharp eye. For example, our last deal, our last contract, I was driving through a neighborhood and it was cold that day. I think it might have been sleeting. And I saw a house that the upstairs windows were open. Uh,
Oh,
and I could tell that they were covered with blankets, but the lawn was manicured. The bushes were a little bit high, but the lawn was cut. But just something stood out about that. And I sent them a letter. They had reached back to me, and it turns out they had abandoned the house about a year and a half ago due to some medical issues. They went to live with their daughter, and the house was in horrible disrepair on the inside. And I learned a lot. We went under contract, built a relationship, again, found out how we could serve them best. Built a relationship, went under contract. It turns out that the house was paid in full, but they had some pretty large tax liens on it. Not large, I mean, not in comparison to what the property is worth, substantially lower than that. But I learned a lot about the tax, the avenues that you have to pursue to satisfy those and different judgments and liens and how to negotiate payoffs. And that deal, I'm going to end up wholesaling that deal, and it should profit around 100,000. At the end of the transaction. So that it's a blessing finding that one as well.
oh my gosh, that is amazing. That's just life changing.
It's a blessing for sure. So, but
Oh my God.
again, it all goes back to just building the relationships with folks and just learning how you can serve them best and just making it a win-win. And if you're wholesaling a win-win-win, that's what it's all about. Helping the greater good of everybody involved. So, and again, it's all facilitated by DealMachine. So.
And that's why I love this is talking and being able to help you guys like build that for your family and for you. And you look so happy. That's like, that's like a huge thing. You love what you're doing now. And if you're comfortable, I know you mentioned some of your assignment fees, but do you know your ROI with DealMachine?
I don't. I need to figure that out. No, I do not.
Okay. I just wondered because I'm like, dang, this
But
is
I know
like,
it's great. But I know it's fantastic.
well, you did the 20 and then this one's going to profit like 100. Like, I'm just like, my mind's being blown right now.
I think we've got we've got a couple of deals in between there. I know one assignment fee was 4,000 last month. I think the month before that we had one at 3,000. But again, our goal is long-term buy and hold.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the amount of calls that we get and the amount of contracts that we've gone under at 60, 50, and this most recent case, 30% of value. And again, it's just learning how we can serve individuals and make it a good situation for everybody involved.
That's amazing. And you said that is it the gentleman you have under some of his properties under contract that you're going into next week with? Is that what you said?
Nope, we're closing on a couple of different ones. We are under negotiations with the 80-year-old with 8 properties. I have to talk really slow with him and really kind of tread lightly in that situation because you don't get eight properties not knowing what you're doing.
True.
So he's had them for 15, 20 years. So it's hard for him to let go, but building that relationship, and I'm confident that will come to fruition.
That's amazing. Well, I thank you for sharing your story with me. I want to send you some swag for you, your wife, and your kids.
That's incredible.
So I'm going to send you a link that you just put in a couple, like 4 hats, and then it'll discount it all out at the end, and then it'll just ship to you. But I'd also love to have a picture of you or your logo that I could put on the thumbnail.
Sure.
just to share it out, and I'll definitely send you the raw footage. But thank you so much for sharing this and being a part of this journey, letting us be a part of your journey, because that's amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you for aiding in our success.
Of course. And if you need anything at all, you have my email address. Let me know, okay?
Thanks, Elise. You have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.